Net neutrality is the basic principle that stops internet service providers, or ISPs, from changing speeds and blocking content. Basically, net neutrality means that you are in control of your internet experience. In early 2015, millions of activists pushed the Federal Communications Commission, known as the FCC, to adopt important net neutrality rules that keep the internet free and open. The Obama-era FCC, led by Chairman Tom Wheeler, created guidelines for ISPs so they couldn't block websites or charge extra to deliver certain content. On February 26, 2015, the FCC ruled in favor of net neutrality by reclassifying broadband as a common carrier under Title II of the Communications Act of 1934. Previously classified under Title I, the Internet was considered an information service. Title II is the legal foundation on which the FCC enacted the Open Internet Order of 2015. It gives the FCC the authority it needs to ensure ISP companies can't block or interfere with web traffic. Title II preserves the Internet's level playing field, allowing people to share and access information of their choosing. The FCC rebranded the Internet as a public utility. President Obama once said, "For most Americans, the Internet has become an essential part of everyday communication and everyday life." Another good quote came from FCC Chairman Tom Wheeler. He said the reason for enforcing net neutrality was to protect innovators and consumers and preserve the Internet as a core of free expression and democratic principles. The current FCC chairman, Ajit Pai, who was appointed by President Donald Trump, wants to ditch Title II and return the FCC to a light touch on how ISPs run. With intent to destroy net neutrality, Ajit Pai got the FCC to vote to move forward with getting rid of net neutrality. Without net neutrality, internet service providers could slow down competitors' content and even block certain content if they didn't agree with it. ISPs could charge companies and websites to allow their content to be viewed fast and without censor. Without net neutrality, internet service providers could decide which websites and applications succeeded and which failed. These big-time ISPs like AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon could decide who is heard and who isn't. Think about it this way. Your phone company doesn't decide who you call and what you say. Why should your internet service provider decide what you view and how fast? Why is net neutrality so important? Net neutrality allows you to share and access information without interference. It allows certain communities, such as LGBTQ and Black Lives Matter, to organize and educate. Without net neutrality, these groups couldn't fight back against discrimination. Net neutrality allows activists to get their voice out, start social movements, and fight oppression. These activists are only able to turn out thousands of people at a moment's notice because they can send their messages out across the internet without being blocked by ISPs with differing opinions. Net neutrality is also important to business. It lowers barriers of entry by preserving the internet's fair and level playing field. It's because of net neutrality that all these small businesses and entrepreneurs have been able to thrive. Imagine life without Google or Facebook. Without these regulations on ISPs, neither of these would have been able to start up and reach where they are now. Net neutrality is a principle the same way freedom of speech is. We have laws that enforce net neutrality, but they are more of a concept than a specific law. Overall, the entire internet is governed by net neutrality. So who is attacking net neutrality? Other than FCC Chairman Ajit Pai, big phone and cable companies and their lobbyists are trying to ditch net neutrality. Chairman Pai has been aggressively pursuing a big business-friendly, anti-consumer deregulation agenda. He thinks that content on the internet shouldn't be protected by free speech. In June of 2016, a federal appeals court upheld the open internet protections in all respects. But internet service providers are still trying to challenge these rules. By the end of the summer, the agency was flooded with more than 20 million comments and letters, most of which were about preserving the existing net neutrality rules. On Tuesday, November 22, 2017, the FCC announced plans to dismantle net neutrality regulations, setting the stage for companies to begin charging more for some sites and slowing or blocking others. These potential tiered packages would hit consumers right in their wallets, regardless if they use Wi-Fi or mobile internet to access the web. The final vote by the FCC is December 14th. We need to make ourselves heard and protect the internet.